Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
The recent rejection of the lopsided composition of the governing board of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (Nnpc), as well as appointments into the corporation's strategic positions by the Pan-Niger Delta Forum (PANDEV), is still generating more reactions in the Niger Delta. In his reaction, King Bubaraye Dakolo Agada IV, the Ibenanawe of Ekpetiama Kingdom, maintained that the appointments in the Nnpc have been skewed in favor of the North as a deliberate policy to continue to dominate and control what is generally known and referred to as Nigeria's single largest cash cow.
Some section of the country have the oil blocks. They find their way and enter the Nnpc. They are not doing much there. They just occupy positions to ensure that we do not get the best out of all of these processes. Countries that move forward ensure that they get their best brains. It doesn't matter if they're from the same womb, but best brains, not just people for the sake of completing the square. That is what we have in Nnpc. Some of the best brains are from the Niger Delta. So if you have 20 top people, what they have simply done is that this place has a lot of money, so let me put John there and then put his sister there and put so that nobody else comes to see the secret of the place. That's what they've been doing with the petroleum ministry too. So that is the kind of nonsense in Nnpc, and we condemn it. I joined PANDEV to condemn it. It's the worst thing that has happened to this country. Those people do not have any more competence than anyone else. In fact, they're incompetent. That's why they're there. The Nnpc is a house, an enclave for incompetence. That is why you have pollution everywhere. That is why nothing is going on. That is why the IOCs are taking us for a ride. You drill, you report what you want to report, you sell to your sister, you report what you want to report, and then you sell again to your government. That's what they've been doing. So that's the kind of Nnpc that they've been keeping on. So I think that with this call, the president, if he didn't know about it, should act on it. The National Assembly and everyone else should condemn it, and they must change and bring a balance. More so, it's about our own oil. Because if you don't do it correctly, we get the pollution, right? So let us do it. And if we want to pollute ourselves, let us do so. But you cannot be in charge. You never come here. Most of them have not heard the word Fropa before. They've not heard the word Kulama. Okay? They probably came once in 2012 when that Chevron explosion took place. And since then, they've not been here again. So their stakes in the Niger Delta is almost nothing. As far as they are concerned, the Niger Delta is a business enclave for them. So it's to kill and divide. And so let them listen to PANDEV and make these adjustments. Now that some of these unorthodox ways of calling for equity are downplayed, and we're asking for legal and sophisticated advocacy, they should not provoke, they should not shake the nests, okay, the beehive. Because if some other persons feel that, okay, now that no one is listening, because if the civilized way of dialogue is not working, if you make dialogue impossible, if you make the ballot impossible, you probably may get a bullet. So while some of us condemn the violent agitations, the system cannot throw out that by their misdemeanor or whatever. Okay, they cannot do that because what they are doing is actually trying to promote that.
Inside the Niger Delta.
For his part, frontline civil rights activist in the Niger Delta, Dr. Jackson Omenazu, advised President Muhammadu Buhari to relinquish his position as Minister of Petroleum Resources to a Niger Deltan. He said such a gesture will assuage the marginalized region and give Mr. President ample time to attend to more important issues of state.
Nnpc is a corporation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But we must bear in mind that if the oil is not flowing from Niger Delta, Nnpc has no business. Completely. And he that you harvest yam from his farm should not eat the peels. So I believe that, sincerely speaking, Mr. President should look into the appointment of the Niger Delta They should look into what is going on in Nnpc, and if possible, relinquish the position of the Minister for Petroleum and appoint a Niger Delta person to take charge. That would help in assuaging the Niger Delta people. I don't even see why Mr. President should still occupy the position of the Minister for Petroleum when there is a series and marriage of political issues to be tackled by the presidency. You don't need to be a minister to get these things going. Because being Minister for Petroleum is even distractive to my own understanding. You need to concentrate on the political issues confronting the country and then issue out orders and instructions based on the constitution of the country and watch the country depart from a country and enter a nation. That's what we expect.
Inside the Niger Delta.
And to further give Nigeria's oil-producing region a sense of belonging in the Nnpc, President General of the Isoko National Youth Assembly, Nnpc, called on the corporation to revisit its recruitment policy that has been skewed in disfavor of the Niger Delta over the years.
If you look at the recent recruitment that was carried out in Nnpc and its subsidiary, it also reflects an attempt to continue to have their people perpetually, in Nnpc and its subsidiary, preparing them to take over from them in the future. So, as far as Nnpc and its subsidiaries are concerned, the northern hegemony have already prepared a succession plan for the future. And we, as people of Niger Delta region, we say no to it strongly. And we are therefore calling on Mr. President and the government to urgently look into the genuine concerns that have been raised by the people of Niger Delta. We cannot house crude oil and gas with which Nigeria survives. And you have people from north manage Nnpc and its subsidiary from top to bottom. We are saying no to it. They have decided to disregard totally the principle of federal character. They have also decided to disregard totally the Local Content Act, and we say no to it.
Inside the Niger Delta.
In the meantime, former Minister of Housing, Chief Nnpc Essien, has asked federal lawmakers from the Niger Delta to rise to the occasion at such a time that their constituents were being reduced to socio-economic irrelevance in the country.
Those who own the oil wells in Nigeria are not people from the Niger Delta. That is now reflecting in appointments, because those who own the oil or those who own the oil wells bring in their people to work in the industry, and are the ones who grow from the ranks to the top. So since we who bear the oil are not involved at the various stages of recruitment, that is why at the top level we are not seen. It is a very sad situation and quite an explosive one that should be handled carefully. Of recent, you will hear that the Niger Delta person is the Minister of State for Petroleum. But the overall minister always happens to be the president. And the president is not from the oil producing area of the country. And so the interest of the president is to bring people from his area to come and manage the industry. So we would expect that our members in the National Assembly should be more up and doing. They should bring out these fallacies, because we have elected them to represent us. And I'm saying so because between 1999 and 2007, members of the National Assembly from the South-South region were very active, pursuing their rights and getting them. That is why we were able to move a little up. But of recent, when membership of the National Assembly and other political appointments are based on selection by the governors, we are not able to have the best representation at those positions.
Inside the Niger Delta,